Good morning!
And
happy...
Wait, where's mine too?
Where's yours?
Happy Wednesday.
Where's everybody credit card at?
Make me a. Get them.
So...
Gosh, I remember when I had
What?
flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks.
Share with us.
Well, on today's show, we're going to be talking about good credit card habits. It is our Money Conversation Wednesday, and I'm going to be tuning in from the student's perspective. Actually, I think I kind of do a little bit each day, or at least I try to. But, man, I had some bad habits.
Can you tell us?
Yeah.
I did too, actually.
You have bad credit card habits? You didn't even have a credit card for a long time.
I'll tell you.
Your bad credit card habit is no credit card.
Avoiding something is equally as bad as having something and mistreating it. I knew that I didn't know how to use it. And I knew that if I don't know something about something and I don't have support, I'm weak. Therefore, I avoided it.
Yeah.
Until I learned why I actually needed to have a credit card. So a credit card is a tool, but if you misuse it, if you abuse it, if you don't use it, then
this thing can be also a drug. It can be a drug, or it can be a valuable weapon.
Ooh, liability or an asset.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I turned 18 years old. I was still living at my parents' house, and they started sending me pre-approved, instant approval, whatever, blah, blah, for these credit cards. I think my first credit card I ever got, the limit on that thing was like, I think $500. I was 18 years old. When you're 18, they're like, you got $500 you can use on this thing. You don't even have to have the money at the time. Oh, talk dirty to me. So what did I do? I had no discipline with money. Even the money I had, my mom all the time, you shouldn't be spending that, 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 you shouldn't be spending, save it, save it, save it, save it. Are you still spending money? Are you spending more money? Did you spend more money? I was like, it's my money. I earned it. Then they gave me one of these. It ain't my money no more. And what happens is what was my money no longer belongs to me, because I owe people. And I owed people for a long time, because I started spending money that didn't belong to me. And it's a trap, and I think really the ultimate perpetrator of that trap, the one who sets up the bear trap, it's credit card companies, is instant gratification.
I wanna challenge you.
Okay.
You guys, there's nothing wrong with credit card companies. What's wrong is that people don't know how to use a credit card, and they don't know, credit card companies give you this thing called available credit, which is an incredible opportunity for you to be able to get access to more. It's almost like it gives you an opportunity for more freedom. And 2020 is a great like time to compare it to. Like with everything that happened with the coronavirus, so many people had the freedom to actually start their lives all over again. But how many people actually used it to their advantage to create whatever it is that they wanted so that they can achieve freedom? In my opinion, credit card companies are amazing because they give you an opportunity to have more money readily available than you will probably have on hand. However, the problem is that we're not taught in school how to use credit cards. We're not taught in school how to develop discipline. So we end up abusing this form of freedom and it ends up biting us in the ass. Like American Express.
I see your point of view. And there's two sides to every damn coin.
Sure.
Right? So I see your point of view. However, I also believe there's some ill intent. And I also believe that the credit card companies are well aware of human behavior. Now, I'm not saying that's not your own damn fault if you get into debt. It was my fault and I'll own it. I wanted instant gratification. I didn't have discipline with my money. I wanted things now, even if I couldn't really actually afford it. And I didn't care. I was like, pay now, care later. And in some instances, in things that move you forward in life, in things where you're investing in yourself, in your own personal development, in an asset that is going to make you money later on, which even should be hopefully yourself, not just a property or a stocks or a bonds or a whatever. But they're well aware of average human behavior, which is they're going to spend a bunch of money on this card and I'm going to charge them interest. And the worse their credit is, the more interest I charge them. So, like, you have your point of view, which I completely understand, respect, and agree with. But at the same time, you've never been in the trap.
Right, and I do understand, and I wrote another point because I do agree with you to some extent. Like, credit card companies do their part in taking advantage of the vulnerable. And that's why what we are doing in this show is we want to give you the power, the resources, and the tools so that you can use these tools to your advantage instead of as a form of a trap. And by the way, we feel the same way about it with regards to anybody, wherever you're at in your financial journey, whether you're currently paying off your debt, whether you don't have any debt at all, or whether, you just want to improve your money habits and just, continuously take it to the next level with regards to your money game. By the end of the day, money is a game. And you just have to learn how to play it right. You have to learn how to play it, and you have to learn how to play it in a way that's ethical. And you know what? In my opinion, the reason why I still think that so many people have this ideology that, money is this bad thing is because of these experiences. You have bad experiences when it comes to money. So therefore, all you can correlate with it is chaos and stress and, lack of ethics. But that is not the case. It's you got to learn how to play the game, and you got to learn how to play the game right. And what we teach you here is learning how to play the game right. There's no shortcuts. There's no crazy, fast pathway, or I don't know, skeevy concept that will teach you. It's just, it is so much in alignment with weight loss too and fitness. And that's why we're so passionate about it, because by the end of the day, you have to surround yourself with good information. A lot of money information out there is fake, you guys. And it's unfortunate. But what are you going to do? You're not going to play the game? If you're not gonna play the game, by default, you're gonna lose. So all you gotta
no
do,
matter what, whether we like it or not, we're all playing the game.
yeah,
Because money is currency and you need it for things.
right. And that's why you gotta make it like your duty and obligation to learn how to play the game, and also like do your part in learning how to play the game right. So like listening to this show, like, you know, like we're gonna teach you the ethical way. We want to give you like a worldview and awareness with regards to, okay, what do I need to do in order to make it better? And by the way, if it's not going to happen overnight, that's okay either. The beautiful thing about life, especially when you do life the right way, and God willing, there is no like catastrophic event. Like we're here on this planet for quite a bit of time. Okay, so we can definitely resolve it, but you know, the point of this, because Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and we know that after Thanksgiving there's Black Friday and Cyber Monday and whatever. And look, the holidays are coming. We just want to make sure that if you were to spend your money on stuff, like how do you know in your heart that, you know what, like regardless of, you know, what I'm going through right now, like, or regardless of where I'm at financially, like I know that I made the right decision doing that. And to be honest, I feel like people, just like with their meals, they don't think about it. They think that they have good intentions by avoiding doing stuff, but is it really going to take you?
Misinformation.
Yeah, but is it really going to take you forward? So really the intention of this is to provide you awareness so that you can make the right decisions, and so that you will be able to feel that you're making the right decision, and then, you know, take action and feel good about it going into the holidays. Cool. So first thing, we all have to understand that this is a great tool. It is, in fact,
Don't hold it on the camera for too long.
Sure.
There's a number on there.
Did I do something wrong?
No.
Okay. So your credit card is a great tool. Okay. And it is like your personal accountant. Like your credit card statement will tell you everything that went as far as spending. And that's a lot of information. And we talked about it. I was on the cash flow episode. Like, you know, in order for you to have an assessment of where you're at currently with the game, you have to understand cash flow. Are you being cash flow positive? Are you being cash flow negative? Or maybe are you just not flowing at all?
There's a kink in the hose.
So you got to set an intention. So this is a tool because it will allow you to understand where you at in the cash flow game. And by the way, if you guys are just jumping in and you're like, what is cash flow? How do I play the cash flow game? Then just go to our previous episode on YouTube regarding cash flow, and we'll give you the step-by-step instruction with regards for that. But you guys, when it comes to using your credit cards, whatever your intention may be, whether it's to use it as your personal accountant, whether it's to build up your credit score, whether it's to improve your credit score, whether it is to, you know, use money that you currently don't physically have, but is available to you on credit, you have to make sure that you're practicing discipline. And in my opinion, this is probably the biggest reason why most people get themselves in debt, is because they know nothing about discipline and they're like completely unaware. So they end up making poor decisions like you have.
Also, I thought about this. Like, what 18-year-old needs a line of credit? Or credit card. It's basically the same thing. But what 18-year-old needs to have available credit?
You know what? You're right. And
why would you just, oh, you're 18 now, here, you're legal. At age 18, why do you need credit? Why?
I agree. And you know what? When I came to this country, I was exactly 18 years old. I came here for college and I had a debit card. I didn't have a credit card. And you guys, I think it was until probably 26 years old where I thought that a debit card and a credit card is the same. They just have a different name. I thought that a debit card is a card that foreigners get. And a credit card is something that Americans have.
That makes sense.
Full transparency, because, you know, like I went to college, they opened up for me like, you know, like a college account, and they gave me a debit card with that. And I remember every time, like, whether I went to, man, what's the name of that convenience store in Jersey?
Dollar Tree.
No. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. But, you know, it's like, let's say I spent like $5 on Red Bull, which I totally did. Like, I got the biggest ones possible. They'll put it on sale. It was like, if you get 2, it's for $8. So anyways, you know, like I'll buy Red Bull and like money will come out of the debit card immediately. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with a friend, and I think, it wasn't until either when I had to like move in somewhere or get a car where they talked to me about like a credit score. And I'm like, what's a credit score? And they're like, it's a score that you get based off of how you used your credit card. No, it's not Wawa, but Wawa is freaking amazing. Wawa is really, really good. I think Wawa is probably the best convenience store. I'm not sure why they don't have it in Cali, but so like when I bought my first car, you guys, I paid for all of it in cash. I used to stash cash in my underwear drawer. And I was like, if I don't have all the money right now, I'm not going to pay for it. And like I practiced extreme discipline, and it probably took me longer to get a car than most people do. You don't know what you don't know. So, you know, like I paid it off immediately, and I drove it off the lot. And of course, it wasn't any fancy car by any means. It was a 1995 Honda Civic, where like you roll down your windows.
Churn butter for fresh air.
Yeah.
As Ellen would say.
Or like when I had to like move into a place for rent, and like, you know, they didn't trust me because I had no credit score, because I never used a credit card. I'm like, okay, so what do I do to...
What's better? No credit score? Or I got my credit score, I think, as low as like 420 something. Is that even possible? I didn't even know. I was like, I don't give a shit.
And it's almost like weight gain. It's like the more shitty you feel about yourself, the less you give a fuck.
Yeah, the less you care. I was like collections and this shit now that's like been on my record for 7 years, which I think is now off because I've been getting credit card offers that I've not been getting for fucking years.
They all want to be your friends. Yeah, it's like you just ate like half a dozen donuts. You're like, might as well have a piece of brownie. Like, I already fucked it up.
I legitimately thought I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life, so who cares?
You're like I'm gonna just keep going.
I'm gonna be paying it anyway. So what's the difference between $5,000 and $50,000? Still gonna be paying it. What the difference is people stop giving you fucking credit. That's the difference.
So for anybody who's watching this, and if you currently resonate with what Erin said, like, please don't be that kind of person. Like, don't say shit like I'm fucked because I'm already in the shitter. Like, if you're in a shitter, like, yes, it might take some time to turn things around, but...
And it starts slow.
Yeah. Everything in life starts slow, by the way. But you definitely can, and we highly recommend that you do, you know, take the approach of turning it back around, because really life is too short. It's like, in my opinion, and this is going to sound harsh, you guys, and I'm saying it with love. Like, life is too short to be overweight or obese. And you know what? Like, if you're overweight or obese, you're in physical debt. Okay?
And life is actually shorter.
And life is shorter. Yes.
I mean, if we're talking about death by natural cause, life becomes shorter.
Right.
And less fulfilling, unless I have to put out there that, like, there are some people that truly feel happy. Great. But just
like
know
Lizzo.
Also,
yeah,
we don't even know. don't even know.
Sure.
Like, if you are not somebody else's brain, we can't put ourselves or make a claim for that person. But generally speaking.
Yeah. But my point is, it's like, so I wanted to move in somewhere, and, I had no credit score. So, I had to learn, what is credit score? How do I build up my credit score? So I went to my bank, and I'm like, okay, I need a credit card. How do I get a better credit score? I don't have a credit score right now, and I need access to blah, blah, blah. Again, credit card is a tool. It gives you access to things like moving in somewhere, getting a car, blah, blah, blah. It's basically trust for the government or people who don't know you that you are competent at making financial decisions.
Yeah.
It's not always the case, because who you are today might be very different than who you were 10 years ago.
It explains what financial decisions you have made up until that point.
Yes. It's almost like stepping on the scale. It tells nothing about where you're going, but it tells you this is where you're at right now.
Nothing about how you got there.
Yep.
There's
no story.
Just there.
It is what it is. So, they're like, you want to build up your credit score, like, you got to use this card. So I was like, okay, well, I guess now I start using my credit card instead of my debit card. And I remember when I started using my credit card, at first I was a little scared, and I will tell you why. Because for one, I had no support. I had no information whatsoever. I just had to use my own fair judgment based off of the discipline that I've built until then. But, when you use let's say you go to the grocery store, right? Like, it's Thanksgiving, you go to the grocery store, like, you buy a couple more extra things because, well, Thanksgiving meal. So let's say, your bill racks up to be like $250. When you use a debit card, like, it automatically comes out of your account, so like, where it's at. But with the credit card, like, the money remains the same in your account, but like, the accumulation of
the balance
of your balance goes up. And because I had good discipline, and even though I swam in new waters, I did okay. I always paid my credit cards on time, and I ended up building up my credit score, and all is good. And to be honest, you guys, like, still, I feel like there's some things where it's like some companies like want me to have a higher credit score simply because I haven't practiced the game for a long enough time period. Based off of the level of discipline I have and my credit score, it should actually look way better than it is. And that's okay. But literally, your current day's credit score is literally just like you stepping on a scale. It says nothing about your trajectory or who you are becoming or what are your habits, but it tells somebody who knows nothing about you, this is where you're at in comparison to the rest of the world. Makes sense? So regardless of where you're at, okay, in your relationship with your credit card or with your credit score journey, like, your credit card is a tool, and when using it, you gotta practice discipline no matter what. It is a responsibility, and if you do not own up that responsibility, it will become a liability, just like what ended up happening to Erin. So, the unfortunate thing with this thing called interest is like something that you want to avoid. Okay, and I think
unless you're on the other end of it.
Unless you're on the other end of it, exactly. But interest is what I think Rob Kiyosaki calls it, a money multiplier. So let's say if you're buying something at the grocery store that's $50, like, there's interest on it. It's not actually $50. There's like based off of whatever percentage the interest rate is, you add that to the $50.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
If you pay your card down, you don't pay any interest.
Right, but that's why I'm saying you want to avoid
You're saying
getting yourself
if you
into
don't.
interest because otherwise it is
You're paying more for what you think you're paying.
It is
Yeah.
a money multiplier. So the real number always expands. And it puts you backwards. So when it comes to making purchases or whatever, do yourself a favor and avoid getting yourself to a point where you're paying interest. Now, if you're already paying interest, then all you can do is you need to start like yesterday with good habits. It's just like with weight loss. Like if you are obese or overweight and you have, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, like you needed to start taking care of yourself yesterday. But today's all we got. Yesterday's in the past. So just like take action, do your best, and move along and repeat.
Okay, so the how-to, every single person has valuable things to share, but doesn't necessarily mean that every single thing that person says you need to apply to you. But I would say when it comes to getting out of debt, not the collective conversation of debt in general and how to use it or not use it or have it or not have it. I think how to get out of debt, check out Dave Ramsey. However, with that being said, decide also how much information you want to take, because there's also some things that we wouldn't agree with, like never use debt, because debt can become leverage. We've used an extreme amount of debt knowing we can pay it off.
Never use debt
Why?
if you don't have discipline.
Don't use debt if you don't have a plan to pay it off without you yourself suffering to pay it off. So for example, using your credit card for everyday things that you would buy anyways, and then paying it off from your checking account, knowing that you have that money, you have a plan. Getting a loan for, a property that somebody else is going to live on, because that somebody else is going to be paying the debt, not you. Or multiple somebody else's is going to be paying the debt, not you. So you can use debt to your advantage. Debt is not the devil. It's how do you use it? And so the how-to get out of credit card debt, like I would check out Dave Ramsey, because he would give you better structures and strategies where it's like, in my mind, I imagine like pay off the card with the most amount of interest first, get it gone, and then just pay the minimums on the rest, but pay everything you can to get the highest interest card gone, right? Then go to the next one with the highest interest. This is if you're like me and have multiple credit cards. But that would be like my how-to. Debt is not the devil. Debt is not bad. Debt can be used to your advantage and it can create leverage, but you have to use it with a game plan.
Yes.
Not just free for all. Who cares?
Yeah. So I want to transition off to, to what you're talking about with regards to debt. And I agree with you 100%. Not all... What?
Debt is created equal.
Yeah, and not all debt is bad. It's just that the most popular form of debt is irresponsible debt.
Consumer
just
debt.
Just like adding mass to your body is not bad. However, because most people don't know how to treat their body right, the most popular way of adding mass to your body is adding fat. So most people correlate, if the scale didn't go down, I'm doing something wrong. But the reality is, like for me, for example, the scale has not gone down in years. In fact, it goes up incrementally each and every year. But if I didn't know how to play the game right, then the scale would go up a lot, because what goes up is my body fat percentage.
And let's be clear, the scale going up doesn't necessarily mean somebody's getting fatter.
Right. So again, it's just comparing, weight and body composition to money. So not all debt is bad, but because most people who got themselves in debt in the form of consumer debt.
Right.
That is an irresponsible way of getting yourself into debt. And from my own opinion and worldview, and by the way, you guys can disagree with us all you want, and we're completely okay with us. We're just sharing with you all these things based off of our life experience. But from my own point of view, this happens because money is a taboo topic. Nobody ever freaking talks about it. The only things that you hear in the family is that money is bad, money is stressful, and you go to school and
maybe.
For the most part, if you come from families like us, it's always there's always stress about money. Yes, everybody wants more money because it will help to solve more problems, because money is opportunities. But I feel like most parents' conversations about money are
is average,
uneducated, and are just they express a lot of fear. So we absorb that shit, and then we go to school and you learn all these things like Calc 2, Algebra 3, but you don't learn how to balance a balance sheet. And
are you doing okay with your fluids in your throat and your mouth?
Yeah. So we go into the real world literally not knowing anything. And in this country, one of the great things, and I'm saying this as an immigrant in this country, is that you're given so many opportunities when you haven't even done shit. You're 18, you get a credit card line, what? That's freaking crazy. But if you don't know how to use it, you end up abusing it. And most people end up abusing it. So you can use debt to your advantage. But you have to be disciplined, and you have to have a plan. And this is where I'm going at next. You gotta be disciplined. You gotta have a plan. For one, if you're not disciplined with your day-to-day life, then I will challenge you. Start with one small discipline practice.
Does it have to be money related?
No. It goes back to the concept that as a high achiever, what will end up happening over time is that how you do anything is how you do everything. You become more disciplined with flossing your teeth at night, you will end up becoming more disciplined with your credit card game. But don't you think that because you flossed your teeth one night, that your credit card score is going to change? Because it's not. It's just I did good with my eating today. When I step on the scale tomorrow, my entire life is going to change. No, dude, it takes fucking time. I think the credit score analogy and the weight and the scale analogy is one of the best analogies ever. And I'm how the hell did we not think about it?
We've referenced it before.
Not credit score and scale.
Oh, no.
Okay. But you can get yourself into temporary debt. You just need to have a plan, and you need to be disciplined. Now, if you are already disciplined, then what that can do is let's say if you know that the holidays are coming, and let's say you want to go on a trip, you have income coming in and whatever, you can, by the way, everything in life involves risk. If you want to avoid risks, then you should probably not leave your house and live in a bubble, just saying. So for anybody who's okay, but is it 100% guaranteed? The only thing that's guaranteed in life is death. Just do your fucking best. And that's why confidence is so important, because if you lack confidence, your brain will always go back to how risky it is. Dude, you guys, life is fucking risky. But when you have confidence, you're I've got a plan. I'm confident. Yes, is there a small risk to it? But I know that I'm going to take care of things. And therefore, that's how you can create yourself more opportunities. For example, we leveraged debt multiple times in order to provide for ourselves and our business more opportunities. We had a plan and we feel confident about it. Was it 100% guaranteed? Hell no. Nothing in life is guaranteed.
I'm a little confused. I feel like our plan. What is guaranteed is how you decide to show up.
Yeah.
What is guaranteed is that you are going to make choices every single day.
Yeah.
No matter what. You can't get around it. Even choosing to not choose is a choice.
It's the worst choice to make, by the way.
Think about that again. Choosing to not choose is a choice. Mm-hmm. There's zero way around it. So that is guaranteed. And there, not everything is a risk. I'm like, if I have money in a bank account and I spend it on a credit card and then I pay it from my bank account, that's not a risk. I know what's happening. But to be extraordinary, you have to take risks. But there's ways to manage and predict the risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the holidays are right around the corner. Like, what if, like, how do you make calculated decisions? So, like, you know, we want to do our best to just kind of like give you guys the 101. And if you guys have any questions, then you can start dropping them right now. But for one, when you want to make sure that regardless of what you're doing, like, you always have enough coming in so that you can pay it off. Like, that is always going to be step one. Like, you guys should not even be focusing on what's outgoing if you're not focusing on what's coming in. And that we had an entire episode about it. 95% of your efforts should be concerned with regards to what's going in. 5% of your efforts should be concerned with regards to what's going out. Most people live their life the other way around. It's like, if you are so stressed out about what's going out, then you have what I would consider an income problem. You just need to make more income. Okay, so like, let's say you want to buy something. Let's say you want to buy a car. You want to upgrade to like a Beamer X5. And right now...
Is that a thing?
An X5?
No, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like the BMW's SUV.
Okay.
But let's say that like your income is not so much in alignment with that. But it's like, man, but it looks so good and I've been wanting it for so long. No. I would say that that's a senseless decision. Why? Because for one, you want to make sure that from an income standpoint, like if it's not adding up and it's going to add, you know, like more stress, then disregard it. Keep on practicing discipline so that you can create more income. And when you get it, you won't even have to think about it twice. You're like, I made it. And then the second thing that you have to ask yourself is, what value does it add to me? Like, for example, with the Beamer X5, like, it doesn't add value to your life. It just, in the moment, it makes you feel good.
It's like eating a donut.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I want it so bad, I'm going to eat it. And then you feel guilty afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't benefit you in any way other than whatever dopamine you get at the moment. And then it's gone. And now you have a $50,000 car
that is no longer, by the way, valued at $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a liability. If it doesn't add value to your life, if it does not increase your confidence, your self-worth, how much more money you're able to bring, you know, the quality of your life, if it just keeps on taking payments out of your life, then it is a liability. For a lot of you guys, like, if you are a homeowner, like, owning a home is a liability. Renting a home is not, because you can leave whenever the F you want. Like, yes, you're in a contract, but something happens to, I don't know, like the sewage, cool, you call the landlord, they pay for that shit. When you're a homeowner, again, liability. So, ask yourself the question
if you're a homeowner and you're living in the home.
Yeah. If it doesn't add value to your life, just think about it twice and ask yourself the question of, what value does it add to my life? It's just like if somebody says, hey, I made this amazing cookie, you should try it. Like, you should have that same thought pattern in your head. Like, what value does it add to my life? Is it in alignment with my goals? If not, then what's the point of having it? Unless that was your intention in the first place. If that was your intention in the first place, then go for it. Okay? You got to make sure that you got cash coming in. Otherwise, that should be your main area of concern right now. And the last thing that you want to do is you want to avoid interest. Like, if you're like, you know what, like, I want to use debt to my advantage, but you know what, you're going to get yourself to a point where you max out your credit card, then I would say that's probably not the best decision right now. But if you have some level of discipline and an opportunity is coming your way and you've got income coming in, all you got to do is just practice some discipline and ask yourself, what value is it adding to my life? For one, is it adding value? If so, what? That's the only question you need to ask. And take advantage of the tool. Take advantage of the opportunity.
The great things about credit cards, I'll tell you, we can pretty much, we kind of fly for free. Because we use it as a weapon. It's a weapon for us. And, when you can put anything on the card knowing that you're going to pay it off, like, so many cards have benefits and rewards and points and, you can use for so many different things now that if you really use it to your advantage, it can be a great tool and a great weapon. Like, so basically, know how the game works before you start playing it, the game of credit. Focus more on making more money, not just trying to conserve, save, cut things out, yes, for a period of time. If you're in debt, live below your means. If you're in debt right now and you want to get out of it, live below your means. You don't need a new pair of shoes. You need literally one pair of shoes. Oh, but I have to have some running shoes so I can go running, and then I have to have some lifting shoes so I can lift, and I have to have some flip-flops so I can go flop, and I have to have some high heels so I can go break my ankles, and I have to have... No, bruh, you need a pair of shoes. Why? Because they cover your fucking feet. You gotta live below your means until you get out of debt, because that's how you get out of debt. Then focus on making more. Otherwise, you're forever going to be in that scarcity mindset of like, I have to cut back. I have to save. I have to make this thing, last for longer than it needs to. And it becomes this like, it's just scarcity.
We were talking about it, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Scarcity mindset.
Right. Trying to get as much as you can for as little, or trying to prolong the life of something, for longer than it should be. Focus on, how do I get more money? How do I get more money and continue to live below your means until you're out of debt? Then, if you don't have money for it, don't buy it. And I would also say, like, figure out what your game plan is then moving forward. Figure out, what is it that I want to do to make more money? How much money do I need to accomplish that? And continue to live below your means until you're making enough income, ideally passively. This is our own personal game plan, but I can't tell you what yours is. But if you want to have financial freedom, eventually the name of the game is passive income via investments of some kind, investing in businesses or properties or whatever it may be.
But first you gotta invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in
assets,
vehicles.
So, but in order to do that, you have to live below your means. Mm-hmm. You have to live below your means. And for a period of time, too, a good deal of the money that we've made has literally gone straight back into the business. We're not using it for fancy shit. We're not using it. I think I bought one pair of shoes in the last
year.
Has it been longer?
Yeah, you got it like back in the summer.
Because
I didn't buy shoes in like over 4 years, you guys.
I bought one pair of shoes because the bottom of my shoes that I work out in was literally getting so thin.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a shoe. So, but it's just an example. The point is,
you gotta practice discipline.
Practice discipline. If you don't need, do you really need it? Before you buy it, ask yourself, what would life be like if I didn't have this thing?
I wanna.
But like, let that marinate for a second. Before you buy something, ask yourself, what would life be like if I didn't have this thing? And you might come to find out that you really don't need as much as you think you do.
And the last thing as well, there's a difference between being disciplined and being frugal. Like, we're very disciplined with regards to where we put our money, but when it comes to investment, like last night, one of our friends was telling us, I don't invest in my business like you. I'm not a baller that way. I'm like, no, like for me, I know that it's gonna get me ahead. Like, the number does not matter. But when it comes to shoes or a car or whatever, I live below my means because those will not get me ahead in life. An investment that I make in my business will. So like, I want to make sure that, like,
by the way, a cheap investment is going to get you cheap results.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. A cheap investment is going to get you cheap results. How many times have you purchased a fitness program or a nutrition, like a full on, like a meal plan or a template of some kind, or a, some kind of exercise equipment that sat in your basement and collected dust, or fell apart because you got the cheap version. How many people have bought something, the cheap version of something, and then it like broke or disappointed you, and then you found out somebody else had the real, the knockoff version, and you're like, shit, I should have just gone with that one. A cheap investment will get you cheap results.
Yeah. Be a baller when it comes to your investment, but be frugal as hell when it comes to your shoes. Okay, I see some. So I just want to like make sure that you guys like learn how to play the game right, because the point is to get you ahead, not to keep you stuck. Lauren, how do I?
Are you okay there?
No, I need your help. Okay, what's the balance when you all help me lose a bunch of weight? Do I buy some new clothes or keep living in the baggy ones? Invest in yourself, dude. Invest in yourself.
But you also have to ask, okay? So you have to ask yourself, what would be like if I didn't have this thing? That you can only answer that. Mm-hmm. Only you can answer that. Nobody else can say, oh, go buy clothes or don't buy clothes. You have to ask yourself, if I don't buy new clothes, what's the result? And am I okay with that? Mm-hmm. If I do buy new clothes, what's the result? And am I okay with that?
Yeah. And also, I will say, like, it also, like, depending on where you're at in your weight loss journey. So, Lauren, like, I work with you one-on-one, so I know where you're at. But it's like, you might possibly go down one more size. Like you already like did like the major like work, but you know, let's say if somebody's got 100 pounds to lose and they lost 20 pounds and shit's starting to get baggy, like don't be a baller with regards to buying so much clothes, because it's like your size is still going to change. So I would say, like, you know, just get what you need. And again, this is from my own opinion, get what you need so you feel comfortable while you're in your current frame. But if your frame keeps on shifting, then don't spend too much time buying for this frame, because you are moving forward.
And look, you have to make your own decisions in this, because I tell people price looks a lot different when you have $12 in your bank account versus $12 million in your bank account. So you have to assess your own situation. If somebody's making passive income 10 grand a month, okay, who fucking cares? Go buy some goddamn clothes.
Go buy Lulu's.
You're getting 10 grand a month without doing anything for it. So, okay, you know you're going to get another 10 grand next month. Go buy some leggings or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to ask yourself and assess your own situation to say, for one, do I know I have plenty coming in that I know I'm not going to have to really trade my time and hard work and energy for? I have a little bit more freedom to go do those things that I want to do or buy whatever, you know. Do I not have that luxury yet? Then I'm going to assess a little bit differently, right? So it's only up to you to decide from your situation, know what your money goals are, because that will help you determine the choices that you make. And then ask yourself, if I don't buy this, or if I do buy this, what is my life going to look like? And how is it going to matter? How is it going to impact me? And which would I rather? Would I rather have less money and have this thing? Or would I rather not have this thing for a little while and have more of the money? That's it. That's all I have to say.
All right, fam. We hope that today's episode added value to your bank account and your credit card and to your life. Really, our intention is to just help to add value to your life. But, you know, in the case that it did, if you know anybody in your life and, you know, you happen to have a conversation with them and you start talking about money and you're like, you know what, this added value, then please go ahead and share this with them so that, you know, they can be in tune too, and that they can start assessing and becoming more aware of, you know, the fact that they actually have the power to change wherever situation they're in right now, or whatever situation they're in. Just a couple announcements before we let you guys go. Next Tuesday, December 1st, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Mountain time, 6 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Wow.
We will be hosting a live web class. What is it about?
The 4 simple steps to achieve and maintain your most confident body.
Amen to that.
You're not going to want to miss it.
There are limited seats available. And you know what?
Registration is required. So go to improveyousolutions.com/body goals.
improveyousolutions.com/body goals. If
Sarit doesn't know what forward slashes or backslashes are. There's no differentiation. It's
when
just
you're
some kind of
when you're
diagonal,
a foreigner, you don't even know what you're saying half the time. It's
in
all
some
good.
direction.
But I think you guys are used to it by now. If somebody from our team can please drop the link below, that will be epic. Other than that, tomorrow, you guys, we will be doing a very special Thanksgiving episode just for you guys, and we do have a special surprise, or maybe we shall say surprises. However, please mark it in your calendar that tomorrow's live episode is, for 1, gonna be moved to 8 a.m. Pacific time.
For 2, it's going to be physically active, not sit on your keister and drink coffee.
Yeah.
Do that beforehand.
Yes. So prep your turkey beforehand. Do what you gotta do. We will be doing a live workout at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Boogie in a turkey costume.
He actually hates wearing
He hates
clothes.
wearing anything. Birthday suit only.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, he is still on his sabbatical. Okay, you guys. Well, that being said, we hope that you have a beautiful day. And we hope that, when you're at the grocery store today, just make sure to spend your money in a smart and efficient way. Other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So mark it in your calendars. And if you haven't already registered for the live web class, then make sure to do so now. ImproveYourSolutions.com/body goals. I'm learning.
Boom.
All right, you guys. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.